And welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series APAC Overwatch Contenders. We're about to go into our second match of the night. It is going to be Heaven Sent versus Invincible, the two teams. One team, at least, you should be very familiar, Invincible, if you watch the Summer Series. And Heaven Sent, a very new name, different name. But if you look into the roster, you might just say, why are these guys playing over here?
Yeah, this is the team that I've been saying that, hey, this might be the NA Contenders All-Stars here. Like, Heaven Sent versus Invincible. Invincible, like G-Clef mentioned, is the Japanese team that we've been seeing on Summer Series. Heaven Sent, we have a lot of experience on this roster. We will be going over it a little bit, but this is a team that has members that have been going on against the Overwatch League teams and the Pro-Ams and the NA side. As you can see here, Heaven Sent, the names here are a little bit different. Zerhan, this is a player that has been on Odyssey and Timeless, and most recently Afterlife. Iron Varp is better known as Iron Man. Who's currently at, who's also at Rutgers University, Scarlet Knights. Clearcon, most better known as Clear, also at Timeless on the Pro-Am series earlier this year. And Ping Padel is better known as Pummy, and was also in Trick Room against who did a very good job in the Pro-Ams. They took out the New York Excelsior at the Pro-Ams, I remember. And also Kivis is Kivis is also there as a support. So this is a very, very impressive roster here. Invincibles, we see this is I guess, a more familiar roster. Daisy, Undersea, Leon Optrix, Blink, Kivis. I'm very surprised to see Leon Optrix starting here, because I thought Gotsam would be starting because of the meta, where you see a lot of Orisa, you see a lot of maybe Sigma, and also the Junker Queen. I thought Gotsam, who is the prominent off-tank player, would have started, but maybe they have something up their sleeves, because my memory says that Leon Optrix is a Winston player. Maybe he has a new Orisa on his sleeve, or maybe he has a total surprise for us.
When the times change, when the ties shift, you just have to follow sometimes and work on an adaptation, as it does seem like for Invincible, it's going to be an uphill battle against this really stacked roster team of Heaven Sent. I think this is a really good testing ground first round. Even if you have a bad time, you don't get knocked off the tournament immediately. So I think we'll see what happens, as we again have Busan on control, as Unknown as mentioned. It was selected by the League Ops for the first map.
Yeah, so Busan, again, this is going to be a very interesting matchup, because it will showcase which compositions each team is comfortable to play.
That's right.
And we forgot to mention that Invincible has the new support players, Blink and Kivis. They're actually Korean players. So this is a new addition to the roster.
So this is the only not full Japanese roster team. This is actually somewhat a mix of Japanese players and the Korean players. Actually, we have almost three Japanese teams in the entire APAC, which is slightly more compared to the other seasons, where we usually have 2 teams from Japan. So let's see how this new mix-up in the roster is going to work for Invincible, as we do have Blink and Kivis from on the back line.
We are starting on Sanctuary here. Heaven Sent floating the Sigma, which is interesting. And Invincible, like I said, Leon Optrix learned a new trick. He is going for the Orisa. So the Orisa in Overwatch 1 was classified as a main tank, but we've seen a lot of off-tank players pick up the Orisa in Overwatch 2. So it's interesting to see how Leon Optrix can play the Orisa here.
Yeah, switching up. Right after the teleport, both Torbjorns.
So this is a very, very interesting read from Heaven Sent here, because Clearcon is on the Sigma instead, because this, if you look at the other components of the composition, it looks like it's going to be a composition with the Orisa, but instead it is a Sigma. I don't know if this is a maybe hero pool issue, or maybe they have something other read inside of it, but it looks like in the first fight, Invincible takes the upper hand.
Yeah, they did have one initial pick onto Ping Padel, into Lari. And after that, Heaven Sent just backed off all the way. Did not really lose too many members after that, as we do actually have a member missing for Heaven Sent. It is. I'm pretty sure it is not a rage quit, guys. So should be back on point real soon.
If you rage quit after one fight loss, then
no way.
That's something that's going to be on Wikipedia.
I'm pretty sure it's just a connection issue.
Probably
it's just a connection issue, as we'll have Pummy coming back as soon as possible, as it was only just a couple of seconds into Busan.
And the thing is, the impressive thing about Heaven Sent is that they lost the first fight, but they didn't give up the cap yet. So it was a 4v5, but they still managed to keep contesting the points. So so Invincibles did not get any percentage out of that. And judging from the time that was expiring after the first fight, they should be back. They should be back in a 5v5 form. So maybe there is a chance that Heaven Sent takes the flip, and not the flip because they didn't even cap it yet. But there is a world where Heaven Sent can actually make a comeback here. But Invincibles, they look very, very firm, and they look like they're really comfortable with the Orisa comp. I am very surprised that Heaven Sent came up with the Sigma composition, because like I said, all the other components are pointing towards that this is an Orisa comp, but there isn't an Orisa. Yeah,
I think you maybe Heaven Sent, they're still testing a little bit what they want to do against all the teams, especially on this map. Sigma, there were times where Sigma was used. When Sigma was when Sigma just came online for the tournament, Sigma was one of the best basically in all maps. We've been through those times, and Orisa, how did Orisa come in? Of course, with the balance patches. And the meta shift, seems like Orisa is taking a lot of those blocks, a lot of the damage, as we are back in game now. Barely started at the point of actually going to Invincible early
doesn't
on.
have ultimate anymore. Well, the ult charges is reset because he was disconnected. This is not the Overwatch League server, so all the ult charges are reset. And Invincibles is taking that to full advantage, as the captive Sun will be wiping out Heaven Sent, and they will have the early percentage points for the cap on point. And the good stagger there, so it's going to take a little bit more time. And so I noticed that Iron Vernop has swapped over to the Genji, so that's going to be even more delay on the side for the ultimates to be online. Right now, the only ultimates that are online for the Heaven Sent is the Tactical Visor and the Window. So they're going to have to use this to full effect if they want to flip the point.
Yeah, Invisible already closing to that 50%. There's that visor.
Is that visor, but it is a lot of that damage is denied.
They lost a lot of time, but still good enough with Sigma. And alongside the damage on top, we were looking at Soldier, but most of the damage actually came from the side. The entire team pushing Invincible away from the point. And the point captured back into Heaven Sent.
Yeah, so this is actually a very crucial win for Heaven Sent, because not only did they use two ultimates, the only two ultimates that they had, but the point was already going towards 60, so if they lost this fight, this would have been final fight territory for Heaven Sent. Invincibles, however, they shouldn't feel too bad about this, because they have 3 ultimates online and 2 incoming. They can choose whatever ultimates they want to open the fight with, and if Heaven Sent decides to commit ultimates, they can use more. Heaven Sent starts the aggression because they know that they are at a disadvantage. However, Invincibles answer with the Captain Sun of their own, and they actually use it to better effect.
Yeah, Daisy's down, but Undershe's still alive. Got 2 off.
This is a 4v3, and the Terra Search didn't do much damage, didn't do any kills. However, it did enough damage for the fallout damage to push everyone on the side of Heaven Sent out of the point, and this is going to be 66, approaching 70% here. Invincibles are good usage of ults because they still have 2 remaining, and the Torbjorn ult, when you are on the defense, is one of the most effective ultimates to keep the enemy out of the point.
You just delete a road away from the opponent for such a long time. It's very annoying for the team to come into the point against the Torbjorn ult. So
Iron Vernard has to use this blade, has to be perfect in order for Heaven Sent to have a chance. But Soldier is down there. Heaven Sent are a man down. This is a good start. Molten Core used on the point. Iron Vernard is down. He used the blade as well. So This is going to be ultimate down. The Dragon Blade down on the side of Heaven Sent. The point is ticking into overtime. Will Heaven Sent be able to answer? No! And the first point goes to Invincible. We have tuned up Heaven Sent as favorites for this game, but G-Clive, we may be wrong.
Invincible. Kivis right next to right next to a set of stones there. Was sort of hiding, not taking any damage, providing extra damage. Headshot onto Genji.
Oh,
in the meantime, healing as well. That's the power of Illari.
So the thing about Illari Captive Sun is that not only does it do AoE damage, but it also leaves a mark that explodes and does additional damage if the entire team, if any ally does enough damage, additional damage to it. So although it might not register into kills, it has potential to do a lot of damage.
Yes, that's exactly why we do see that hero a lot, but not for this time. Both Lucio's.
So on Mecha base, both teams are opting to go to the Junker Queen composition. They have a little bit of a different read on the meta on the DPS side of things. Heaven Sent using a little bit more firepower with the Mei and the Bastion, and Invincible is going with the poke damage, and it looks like Heaven Sent is having fun with that Bastion pick here.
Yeah, already lost a lot of members after losing Jungle Queen, Daisy, Invincible, just falling like flies for the first fight. Heaven Sent finally being able to grab the first point. Actually got a whole lot of percentage on the ult charges, near 40% on actually 5 members.
Invincibles is kind of surprising. I'm kind of surprised to see the Kiriko here. Maybe the Suzu can be used again to counter the Junker Queen ultimate.
Daisy falls early again.
But I do have a feeling that Invincibles doesn't have enough healing output to survive, to outlast the damage output of Heaven Sent. Because clearly, Bastion, Junker Queen, and Mei, even the Baptiste have enough damage, and I don't think Invincible healing output can keep up.
Heaven Sent, along with those 2 fights, basically had to use no ults and was able to just win off of the neutral fights early on, making it into 4v5. Daisy gotta be careful against all those Mei shots flying in, the icicles.
Invisibles probably have to wait for their ultimates for their turn to shine. Heaven Sent, pulling the trigger early, knowing that Invincibles is close to their ultimates. The Kitsune Rush was already used on the side of Kivis, but it looks like the fight is going into actually Invincible's favor.
Yeah, at least I think Under C was trying to think about using that blade. Hold on, clear. Okay, 3-man rampage. Okay, Sound Barrier just in time for
it
Blink.
Was almost an Ajax, but Blink was able to make it in time. However,
here's the Dragon Blade Under C, very low in HP, but still can't really do extra.
But the thing is that a lot of damage was denied on the side of Undersea because he had to use the deflect because he was so low and there was no healing and to keep him up. So not a lot. That's a lot of damage lost on the side of Undersea.
Hey, 95%. There's no time.
So Daisy needed to touch. That's a lot of damage out of the teamfight because the teamfight is happening elsewhere. Over. Daisy is down. Nobody else is. Oh!
No, the rampage was denied. The moment you pressed it, you knew that it wasn't going right for the team. And Invincible, not quite invincible on the second point.
Okay, Mecha Base goes on the side of Heaven Sent. Heaven Sent looks a lot better than what they were doing on Sanctuary. It looks like this time, at least for Mecha Base, the meta, they were playing, Heaven Sent was playing it better. Again, Invincible, they were okay, but I don't think that the Kiriko pick, at least with the Lucio, was enough. Yes, Suzu does neutralize the effects of the Rampage. However, in the neutral fight, even in the neutral fight, the healing is not enough to survive the damage output of what Heaven Sent was there. Yes, Heaven Sent, right now, it looks like they're going with their own Lucio Kiriko composition. However, this time Invincible doesn't have the... they're not going with the Bastion and the Mei, so they don't have to deal with as much damage as Invincible had to do against Heaven Sent. So this composition, this time, might actually work.
So let's see how well this time. It's going to work for either side. Early loss there, Invincible. No early RE for Invincible there. Heaven Sent 5v4, 5v3 now. Another headshot coming out.
So this is the difference between Mecha Base and Downtown here, because Heaven Sent, they were very low on HP, but they had enough healing and sustain to survive. And this is because Invincibles, although like Soldier and Bastion have their own strengths, they don't have the sheer damage output as the Bastion and the Mei. So they had enough healing to survive, and this is making the difference between Mecha Base and Downtown here.
So this time Invincible actually coming around to the side street. Heaven Sent, okay, lost to Lucio early on in a trade of Torbjorn. 4-4, Heaven Sent still having the push power.
Invincibles has to reset. Oh, maybe they don't.
Yeah, because they actually had, somewhat of less damage. Okay, out of position, but as long as you can land those headshots and grab the kills.
That is the overclock in effect. A single pick here may be enough to deter Invincible from the point, and Blink goes down! So that means Heaven Sent is able to contest the point, and there's a second kill on Undersea. Heaven Sent will be able to protect the point.
Oh, with the power slide, this Sojourn is out of position, but it doesn't matter as long as you can land that much DPS. Invincible, they were almost able to. Okay, and then it's just a team wipe after the regroup. They had about 60%, 65% contested, but Invincible just not being able to flip that point.
Yeah, exactly. So, and right now, losing that previous fight is really bad news for Invincibles, because yes, they have 3, maybe 4 ultimates
locked and ready. Here we go.
What a rampage! The lamp is there to save everyone, but not from the follow-up damage. Oh, that sound barrier is there to protect everyone from that. Terra Surge!
Terra Surge right in front of the spawn! That's just desperation, 7% off! Heaven Sent pressing
do they even have anyone to touch?
No one on the point! Oh, like Undersea! Recall back!
Touch from Undersea, but is there a second touch?
You can't blink. There's every angle being covered by Heaven Sent. 100-0 will be the score for the second.
Okay, Heaven Sent looked a little bit shaky on Sanctuary. However, the rest 2 maps were sheer domination on the side of Heaven Sent. Like Heaven Sent was like, I thought this team was going to be pre-match favorites, and after Sanctuary, they were like, maybe Invincible is better than I thought they would be. And Heaven Sent is just like, no, I was teasing you, and you just showed very impeccable performances on the second and third rounds of Busan.
Yeah, especially I was very impressed from Clearkun. That Rampage hiding under the angle where you can't really be spotted easily, and also even before that, we saw the Rampage forcing out the sound barrier from Lucio, actually leading them into a win. Just saying, okay, we're actually this much ahead of you, and you just cannot come to the point. The moment I press this, there's no one actually stopping it. And of course, right after the Rampage, HP ticks down, and the rest of the crew saying, okay, you've done your part. Thanks for the sauce, and I can just pick up the fork and then pick everything one up. That was really fun. Watching all those two maps.
I understand the Terra Surge from the Anopteryx there in front of the point, because if they actually managed to get a kill, a few kills out rather, then they would have enough time to touch and maybe flip the point and buy some time for another fight. However, a good sound barrier on the side of Heaven Sent, and that saved a lot of people from potential casualties from that ultimate, and they were able to get that snowball rolling.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very important how Invincible comes back now with that score, as they did win initially the very first one, but after that it seemed like their team comp was somewhat flip-sided, as they're having a very tough time just opening up and going towards the point, even getting anything flipped away from Heaven Sent. But we're going to be moving on into Hybrid soon. Let's see what they come up with. But right before that, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, that map number 2. And welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series APAC. You're watching Overwatch Contenders with G-Clef and Unknown. As we are going through the second match of the day, we have one more coming up, which should be the best of the night. It's going to be the winners from this match against 4EF that we just had. But so far, Heaven Sent seems to be coming back really strong after dropping the first. We were saying, oh, maybe Invincible got a power up some type of really good, really good power up during the off season. They were actually giving a hard time against Heaven Sent for a few minutes.
Yeah, for the
few minutes only.
First Sanctuary, yes. I think right now, I think Heaven Sent has a better understanding of the win conditions that they have. Like I said before on the previous match, playing a composition and knowing how it should be played are two different things. Like, you can be very comfortable with the heroes that comprise the composition, but knowing the win conditions and changing your strategy accordingly to the situation are two different things. I think Heaven Sent showed glimpses of that, especially in Mecha base and downtown. So speaking of town, we are going to Midtown. This is going to be the second Midtown that we're going to see in the fall series.
Yeah, I like it. I would love to see more poking comp, plus some more different heroes coming out. Well, potentially, I already revealed that I'm a big Hanzo main, so so I would love to see any more Hanzo.
My question: are the pigeons going to be back?
The pizza? No, it's gone. It should be gone by now.
But there's a pizza bot.
The pigeons eat fast.
Okay, so they're already gone. Okay.
Oh, there's a pizza.
Ooh, I need that.
It looks like to me that pepperonis are burned. That's not the right level, guys.
I mean,
that cannot be served at my level. That should be going into the trash can.
Well, I mean, look, there's a reason pigeons were eating that pizza.
And I can be the trash can, so give it to me.
All right, looking at the compositions here, it looks like a lot of the Contenders teams in APAC think that Sigma is the way to go on this map. Both tanks are going with the Sigma here. And it's also it's a surprise for me that Leon Optrix is playing the Sigma here, because Gotsam is a off-tank player who is very prominent on the Sigma as well. And well, looking at Leon Optrix playing the Sigma, maybe the Invincibles have something up their sleeves.
Yep, history's good, but already a kill. Easy, the soldier.
The Soldier 76 with that right click is just, it's so deadly. So that burst damage is enough to just take out 200 HP support, so just like that.
Yeah, if you hit it at the right target, right moment, it's hard to hit because it takes a while for the projectile. But here is Clearkun trying to poke from the side, both Sigmas. Trying to protect and push the line just a little further for Heaven Sent.
Again, Heaven Sent will be having that advantage on this Sigma duel because Hanzo is a better shield breaker than the Soldier 76. So they should be having, if they just kind of,
some trade? Torbjorn Hanzo, trade of kills there.
So if they're at a stalemate like this, come to what I said, Heaven Sent should be having the upper hand in that tank duel here.
Yeah, now the Invincible, they just couldn't keep up with the amount of poke as you mentioned.
This is going to be a big stagger on the side of Heaven Sent. So Invincible will be having to concede point A very early on in the game.
Almost having 5 minutes now to push. Let's see, Invincible. Not much of a change in terms of comp at all.
Early aggression with the window there, maybe wanting a little pick, and they get one. Undersea is taken down. So this is going to be a little bit of a free stroll on the side of Heaven Sent here. A lot of Daisy very low as well. Blink also very threatened to the brink of death. The drone saves him, but as soon as they see the drone, Clearcon goes with the Gravitic Flux. No casualties yet, but there is that follow-up damage, and Heaven Sent will be steamrolling through point A right now.
Yeah, I could see with that window, as you called it, okay, they don't just want to stop here. They want to position themselves first, up ahead, and grab maximum kills, as now the payload already going towards that tunnel. Right below the bridge.
Invincible's striking back with the good picks, especially on the Illari there. But Kibis, who was picking out some of the DPS players on the side of Heaven Sent, is punished by the side of Heaven Sent. So this is going to be a neutral fight once again.
And now coming back, some more ult available for Invincible as they're regrouping on top. Some of the teams actually have a tough moment pushing the payload.
So this fight should be in favor of the Invincibles because they have a lot of ultimates. They have 3 and 4 is upcoming, and like I said, the molten core is very, very strong when you're on the defensive side of things. So Heaven Sent knows this, so they're committing. They are pulling the trigger first. They want to make a pick first, and they do. So even though Invincibles have a lot of ultimates, they can't use their full effect. But the bad news for Invincibles is that they already used 2 ultimates, and so they lost even with just this. They literally just threw 2 ultimates to the ground.
Yeah, Invincible, they at least did not end up using all 4. Only have to use 2, and the Genji actually dodging some of those ultimates, diving in along by himself. Aaron just doing a whole lot of work for Heaven Sent.
Now it's going to be the Tactical Visor and the Molten Core on the side of Invincible. Heaven Sent,
Oh, what a shot there.
Yeah, they have no intentions of making this slowly. They use the window, but Zerzon is taken out, so there's little poke. Oh, but Clericon takes out Leon Optrix there, and the Gravitic Flux is there.
Did it catch? I couldn't see exactly. I think he caught 1, not 2. Still alive,
nonetheless, Daisy is taking out. Heaven Sent is on a very fast game pace here, and it looks like Invincibles is not able to keep up with that pace of Heaven Sent.
Yeah, this is usually not a place where Sigma is supposed to push alone, and Heaven Sent is making it possible with the amount of support. Okay, a lot of ults to use press from Invincible, still not enough to respond back.
Invincibles are in desperation mode, trying to use ultimates to answer. However, Heaven Sent is not letting them be on their back on their foot. Oh, Pink Patel using the Captive Sound just on 1 member to secure that kill. And that 1 kill may be enough because they're spawn camping on Invincibles right now. And it is a full cap on Heaven Sent. 3 minutes on the time bank. That is an impressive push, G-Cuff.
3:14 left. As that payload was barely ever stopped, only onto the bridge a little bit. And after that moment, it was just a highway road available, open up for Heaven Sent. A whole lot of kills with that amount of speed. I think you should be pretty happy with the time bank.
Yeah, Heaven Sent, I think the longest point they used to capture was point A, because they were at kind of a stalemate on the Sigma duel in the first few fights, and there were a few picks on the side of Invincible, so they had to reset 1 or 2 times. However, after that, they were pressing the gas, and they didn't even give time for Invincibles to regroup, and they were pressing. Hey, they have more ults. I don't care. I'm going to use ults and take whoever has the ults, so they can't use them, or else they're going to just waste them. And Invincibles, yeah, I just can't explain I find a better term than they just couldn't keep up with the pace.
Yeah, I think Invincible was trying to save some ultimates because they were being pushed already, lost a member by the time. But there had to be a moment where everyone just says, okay, let's try to use all the resources that we have and try to stop them, because we're getting almost everywhere around the map every single time we come back from the respawn. And Heaven Sent really gave them no chances to actually come back in that later payload push. But of course, right after Invincible, let's see if they can make it work this time, as that will be a pretty hard time bank to catch up to.
This is an interesting approach from Heaven Sent, because we haven't been seeing Ana a lot in the competitive matches in this meta. Yes, we've been seeing a little bit of double flex supports, but that usually involved the Ilari and the Baptiste. However, the Ana may be very, very valuable in a sense that the anti-need might be very useful here.
Yeah, Soldier caught already. Daisy has to come back now. Invincible being pushed.
So Invincibles are being threatened out of their own territory. They are being sandwiched and they are being flushed out. Yes, yes, Clericon is giving them a little bit of breathing room, but in terms of real estate here, Heaven Sent already is conquering a lot of the defensive positions on the side of Invincibles.
Now should give some good amount of time. Invincible. Where are those damage pokes coming from Heaven Sent? Must be from Hanzo and Torbjorn together.
Already taken down, and Blake, the anti-nades are on point. This is why Heaven Sent picked the Ana. They were confident that they were going to put it to good use, and Invincibles, they have to reset yet again.
There must be an angle where you can actually strike from. Hanzo, Torbjorn, they're not supposed to be super close up ahead. And it's going to be really hard. It seems like Invincible's having a tough time breaking into Sigma, doing close to no damage. First of all, they have to break through the barrier, but Ana so far back, so I think it's up to some great headshots coming from Daisy or Undersea diving in with the blade, but will there be enough time?
This is really clever from the side of Heaven Sent because the vulnerability of Ana, of using the Ana, is that the Ana is very, very vulnerable to a lot of the divers or heroes that actually go in. And right now, Invincible's the only hero that they can go in is the Genji, and Genji is getting poked down so badly that he can't even attempt to go rush into the Ana right now.
Yolchu in the room, Sigma has a pretty fun time.
Kivas using the Kisune Rush, however, all of the members of Invincible are so low! They can't even pose a threat to anyone on the side of Heaven Sent, and they use the ultimates. They use the ultimate, however, Heaven Sent is just rushing them away. Yes, Heaven Sent used the Gravitic Flux and also the Hanzo Dragon. However, they have key ultimates coming up like the Molten Core, like the Captive Sun, and the Nano Boost as well. So Invincibles is going to have a hard time because the only ult that they effectively have is the Sound Barrier.
Yeah, with the Sound Barrier and the Dragon Blade coming up soon, with a minute time mark now, as Kiriko had to press that button. Coming from the side of the street, they're still keeping the front line up.
Captive Sun used aggressively. This is good. Genji very low. Undersea taking down by Big Patel. They have to die quickly. They have to reset or they're gonna get staggered to the point that they can't. They have to go to Desperation Touch.
Oh man, 35 seconds Invincible. Undersea might not have time if you don't pull it out now. Less than 30 seconds.
They're taking out Leon Optrix slowly on purpose because they know that they have to stall. And Invincibles, they know that Invincibles can't do anything without their tank. Yes, they have key ultimates online. However, they have to use everything because it's 10 seconds left.
It's now or never for that Shimada to have that blade. Still some defensive ultimates ready to go. Here's that Molten Core.
And the Gravitic Flux is online once again. Invincibles has to use the Rampage just to touch the point.
That's a lot of kills
together. They do get a few kills.
But the Molten Core plus Sigma is taking care of the entire
everyone's
team.
taking out. Oh my goodness.
Just from the three. Man, Sigma, Torbjorn, Ilari took care of the rest. It seemed good with the Genji, but once you're on point, you're taking that pretty hot lava damage.
Hey, this is why I'm saying that Heaven Sent has a very good understanding of the game right now, because you usually do not use the Ana in this kind of compositions because you know that there is a lot of poke, a lot of Genji threats on the Ana, but they are confident in their ability to poke down the Genji, poke down the Sojourner to the point that the Ana is going to be in a safe position to land those anti-nades, to land those heals, and even though if it's not meta, if you can use it to achieve your win conditions, then that is the perfect composition for you, and Heaven Sent is using this perfectly.
And also Pink Padel's Ilari, using that outburst to chase Genji as a support, it's just a promising sign that you're already winning the fight. Usually you use that outburst to go back, retreat to your teammate, but it's the power of this brand new support that you can actually go do damage, get those kills picked up. While you also have Ana, who can also get those kills picked up from a long range. That will be a full point capped with a 3-0 score now. Invincible. Wow, they're certainly having a tough time first starting with usually losing a lot of their DPS to start off, making it to 4v5 very hard moment. And what can you actually do against Heaven Sent? Next map will be Flashpoint, so maybe they have to think about some different comps coming into this one. But right before that, we'll take another short break, guys. Don't go anywhere because Invincible might come back into series, or maybe it can be a 3-0 wipe for Heaven Sent. See you guys soon. And welcome back, everyone, to Fall Series 8 pack. This time, Heaven Sent is crushing down the opponent. Invincible might not live up to their name too much in the series.
Right now, Invincible looks a lot more, I guess, invincible, for lack of a better word. Heaven Sent looking a lot more convincing than at Busan. Midtown was an absolute stomp.
Invincible certainly being crumbled right now. But Flashpoint, I've seen some other regions and other games. Teams actually coming up big time in Flashpoint and sweeping it back for their team, so it might still be possible. It does seem like, though, Heaven Sent is winning in every single opponent, every single aspect of the team fight. The support line, DPS, and the tanks.
This is
we'll
going
see.
to be our first Saravasa cast because the previous matches were all about New Junk City.
Actually, I do prefer Saravasa. It's just a slightly more than New Junk City.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
because the map looks prettier.
Of course.
I don't like junks. I don't like seeing junks everywhere around the map.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, like you said, G-Cliff, a lot of the... So, Flashpoint is the single map type where a lot of trailing teams can actually make a point. Because, especially if you look at the Overwatch League and the east side of things, both matches ended 1-4, and then all the ones were all from Flashpoint. So maybe there is this special something for that team that is behind to win it on Flashpoint. And again, I can't stress this enough. Mobility is key to this map type because you have to move around points, you have to be there faster, you have to regroup faster, and you have to recontest faster. So I think both teams understand this. Both teams are going with the Lucio and the Symmetra on the side of Invincible. So maybe a little bit of the upper hand on the side of Invincibles here. However, Heaven Sent, they have a very similar comp. So it is very interesting to see how they can fare. First point is always going to be market on the center of the map.
In terms of positioning might be slightly faster for Invincible. As Jera was almost caught by the shots, actually going very low.
And taken down, so that is going to be a 45. However, Leon Optrix is taken down, so it is 4v4. And no, it's not going to be 4v5 because everyone on the Invincibles is going down.
Kiriko Lucio picking up the kills, surprisingly. And yeah, right after, I thought they'll be lacking damage because they just took down the tank, the Jungle Queen. And it does take a lot of DPS out of the team to take down the Jungle Queen alone. But even after that, the follow-up damage was just massive coming down from Heaven Sent. The first point,
it was credit to Invincibles for making that first kill, and they were on the point first, so they had actually positional advantage. However, Heaven Sent used the opportunity, made it into an opportunity for them to close into the distance and wreak havoc.
And Clearkun still keeping the point at 45%. Invincible can't really come into the point at all.
The shout there for the extra speed and extra health. No casualties yet. Undersea, very low. Undersea taken down once more. Daisy, no DPS available on the side of Invincibles. And this fight is also going to the side of Heaven Sent unless Kivas has a say on it. Kivas taking 2 down, 3 down on the side of Kivas. Oh my god, I mean, what is this fight? How is this fight going on? First, Heaven Sent loses a member first and they win the fight. Invincibles lose 2 members first and then turn this fight around.
And it was both headshots too. Immediately turning things around. Well, Kiriko used the ult, but even with the ult, it wasn't really too advantageous at the moment for Invincible.
They had no DPS players online, and Kivas was like, hey, who needs DPS? If I can be the support and the DPS, there's going to be the Kitsune Rush on the side of Heaven Sent this time. Kivas falls down, the blink sound barrier was not fast enough to save Kivas, but the 45 sustain is there. However, Daisy falls, and it looks like Heaven Sent is going to win this fight and take that point away. First point probably going to Heaven Sent.
Yeah, so much more sustain with an extra member here for Heaven Sent. Yeah, with both barrier popped nearly at the same time, but as you can see with those check marks on top, Heaven Sent, yeah, will be able to have a lot more advantage on top of this first point for Flashpoint. And
so
3 ults available.
Point is going to be Gardens, so it looks like Heaven Sent is going to have positional advantage, even despite Invincibles having to go through spawn, and they have a lot of ultimates online. They do not have the support ultimates, but that is going to be the same for Invincibles. Invincibles also have 3 ultimates of their own now, so it's going to be who pulls the trigger first. Heaven Sent pulls the trigger first and cleared. Takes care of Daisy.
The overclock instantly gone, and Clearkun picking up another from the front line.
Invincibles should not use any more ults. They should just reset.
That was the moment where you just say, okay, regroup, as this is still very early. They just capped the point. Heaven Sent still was only you had to use the overclock, just 1 ult out of the 3. Still 2-2 up. It seems like Heaven Sent is getting some more percentage from Kiriko and Lucio together. That's the only difference, and better positioning on top.
Yeah, they have the defensive positioning and advantage here. I think Undersea needs to have a very good Dragon Blade in order to turn things around. The Dragon Blade is there, but no target's there, and he has to use the deflect, which means that there's going to be the DPS loss there. However, Iron Arm is taken down. Claricon uses the four-man rampage. No Suzu available. It seems like two members down again.
It's just not enough. Rampage comes back from Leona, but Heaven Sent still having 5 members up.
Invincible's having their DPS down first is very, very crucial in this fight because even though the Rampage was good there's no follow-up damage to finish off those kills. The sound barrier is there, so more sustain on the side of Heaven Sent. This is going to be the difference, and that's point 2. This is map point for Heaven Sent.
Yeah, that's just going to be it. As we do go towards the other side to the palace. But, Deiji just died, so respawn will actually take a longer time.
Yeah, and to add, even to make things worse, Invincible spawn is pretty far away from Palace here. So I think they just have to go a 4v5 or they have to give up first point.
It's still 10 seconds before the unlock.
Down again! So this means that point cap is definitely going on the favor of Heaven Sent. Yes, Kitsune Rush is used. Maybe he didn't need that, but still, better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, Heaven Sent, they're just pressing onto a point where it hurts the most. As Invincible, they were trying to regroup, but Heaven Sent coming all the way out, giving no place for them to actually do that comfortably.
So it looks like Heaven Sent, it seems as if Heaven Sent is playing this game on 1.5 speed. Like, they're playing much faster than Invincibles are, and Invincibles are not coping with the speed difference here.
Yeah, it almost seems like Heaven Sent, they're just coming out all the way. Another kill picked up overclock. Oh.
So they're using just 1 or 2 ultimates to just keep Invincibles out. Already, this point is at 50%. One more fight loss, and it might be even final fight territory, or even the end for the Invincibles here.
This ends now.
Invincible,
Yeah,
he needs to
takes
kill.
out Zarazon. That is a good start.
But needs more. Kivis, and on top, okay, with those 3. Might just be possible, but Claricon ready with the Rampage.
Claricon takes a answer kill back, but I don't think that there's any need to spend ultimates here because they're at 95%. They can just wait to regroup.
Great sound barrier from Link to catch that up.
Ooh.
Still comes up with a kill somehow.
Clear was at almost sub 100 HP there, and he used the Rampage to just get out of that. And not only did he just get out, he baited out the sound barrier as well, so that was a good trade.
Claricon didn't die from that moment, even after the Rampage?
He did fall, he did fall, but after that Rampage.
Here's Iron. Has been having a mediocre late so far.
However, it does the job because it takes out Ayako, who had 96% on the sound barrier. So they have Heaven Sent has to reset again. They do have 1 or 2 more fights to spare. Maybe 1 fight because it is at 60%. If Heaven Sent lose this fight, they probably have to concede this point. But it is okay because they have support ults coming in. Here is the sound barrier. That is going to be extra sustain. Undersea doesn't get any value with that Dragon Blade. 3 members down. Can Kevis and Daisy turn it around? No, they can't, and it is going to be point flip for Heaven Sent. Can anyone touch? Or this is going to be a 3-0 for the side of Heaven Sent.
Tried coming in, but alone can't do the job, and that will be a 3-0 win.
Wow, what an impressive performance from Heaven Sent. Like, yes, I was a little bit disappointed initially on Busan on the first point, on the first round. However, apart from that, Heaven Sent is duly showing why they are going to be the tournament favorites, not only for this match, but for the entire tournament as well.
Yeah, big time. They're certainly showing up to what they have on paper. Their experience in the big tournament certainly kicking in really hot, especially against Invincible, a roster that it's somewhat of a mix, but still has a lot of experience in terms of Overwatch contenders. We'll be looking forward to seeing Heaven Sent once again in the winners match that we'll have right after.
Yeah, so it's going to be Heaven Sent versus Four-Eyed Freaks. Yes, Four-Eyed Freaks. I've been talking I've been talking good things about 4-Eyed Freaks right now, but from just what I've been seeing from the last 2 matches, it looked like Heaven Sent is going to be the favorites on this matchup because, boy, Heaven Sent. They're kind of like showing us why they had that experience, why most of their members were actually on the programs on the NA side. These were members on teams that were actually almost toe-to-toe with the Overwatch League teams. And although a lot of the Contenders teams lost to the Overwatch League teams in the end, but these are the players that are almost there, and it looks like they're one step ahead.
Some different power gap. It certainly was able to display that on different maps. Let's see if they can do it on a different team though. Invincible, they do go down with a 0-3 score, but they go down to the lower bracket, which will be played next week. But here is the highlight, once again, between Heaven and Invincible. And some great rampages coming up from ClearCon.
Yeah, ClearCon played a lot of Sigma, a lot of Junker Queen. Both were very impressive. I personally went for the support votes, but nonetheless, it was a big. I guess that was a big performance from Clear. Nonetheless, I mean, yes, that was not my vote, but I am still I'm still happy with Clear taking that play of the match.
It's understandable because for the tank for ClearCon to do this much work up on front against these many other colored members, well, I mean, you have to be receiving some type of heal from the back line, so support work has to be online.
Yeah, a lot of impressive really good rampages here, especially on Sorabasa. Not only this, we had this one, I believe it was a 23 HP of nerves. Oh my god, like a single body shot from anyone on the opposition, and that rampage would have been denied. However, that was good nerves of steel from the side of Clear, and well-deserved player of the match.
Yeah, some great daggers too coming out from this guy. And we're very likely to see more coming out from ClearCon, and they are moving up to that winners who go up against 4EF. Will be the match that we will actually have right after. So you might want to check this one out, as the winner is going against head-to-head immediately after the win of the day.
Yeah, so 4-Eyed Freaks, Heaven Sent. Like you said, G-Club, this bracket is a double elimination bracket. Each team has 2 lives. 4-Eyed Freaks, Heaven Sent, has not expended their second life yet. So even if they lose in the winner's bracket here, they go straight to the lower bracket and wait for the losers of the other side of the bracket, which we have some time to wait for. But yeah, what a match we're going to have.
Should be the best one of the day, as we'll have the other side, the other 4 teams actually getting ready to go tomorrow, not today. So I think it's very interesting how we actually have the winners of the first 2 matches going in the same day. So we get to see who's actually the best among the top 4, the first 4 teams, and then the same for the later day. So that's going to be the format that we have here. As I actually do not want to jump into the commercial break because I want to see that winners match already.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, teams have to, especially for Heaven Sent, who just finished their match. It was a quick one, but still, nonetheless, I mean, competitive matches can be very tiring. Even though if they won convincingly, coaches may want to have some feedback. So, we got to give them some time.
Yeah, of course, they might want to go wash their faces, as the time zone is not the same for everyone.
Of course.
Bathroom issues can always be one of the crucial toilet issues.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen in game.
Yeah, certainly not, and you cannot just pause the game because of that issue. So might want to take care of that before we actually start the game. But hey, the 2 better teams of the day going against each other. I'm very excited to what this one is going to be like. As Heaven Sent, 3-0 victory, very solid against a team that has a lot of experience, but I guess the tournament size and the tournament prize pool was very different. Especially for Heaven Sent, because they've been in the bigger size leagues. I think it's coming in real hot. Even with this big of a map pool, I think I already have a pretty good feeling they will do just fine in all maps.
Yeah, exactly. So like Heaven Sent and 4-Eyed Freaks, I don't think map pool or hero pools are going to be an issue here. So, and it's also going to be interesting to see how the narrative between the best of NA contenders a little bit and a little bit of a all-star performance team from APAC contenders. And this is going to be an interesting match.
It is going to be very interesting, but before that, we'll take another short break. But when we come back, guys, winners match coming up soon.